Hey guys, come on in. Starting an update here. A lot of things to get into, projects, news, information, and so far it's working. I have audio and visual, so we'll see how long this lasts. I don't know, it's been really funny lately. It's weird, either it works or it doesn't. So I hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday, August 2nd. It doesn't feel like August. Today we had, yesterday was much warmer, mid 80s, I think. And yesterday it was sunny, breezy, I think high of 80. Oh, good. We got a thumbs up. All right, awesome with the audio. Just checking out USGS and quite a bit of activity pushing through. Montana, western slope, western side of it, couple in the middle of Idaho, 2.4. Wyoming's got a 3.7 in the rolling hills. That is central eastern part of the state. Texas is getting some healthy ones, 3.1, 2.3, 3.1, 2.1 within the last hour. Healthy activity along up and down California. Yeah. Let's check out Alaska real quick. I just want to take a quick look over here. Busy, productive weekend. Another busy, productive week ahead of us. Getting a new computer on Thursday. I'm excited. It's going to be faster and hopefully things will sink in together with those updates. So looking forward to that. Not gonna lie, this has been long in the tooth and overdue, especially last year with all the streaming and a lot more of the multi-streams between DLive, Odyssey, YouTube, a lot going on. So a lot of good things happening. A lot of people getting ready, a lot of great feedback. I like the comments and the emails with updates and the information, things that are happening in people's backyards. A lot of food. I want to say, if not every other, almost every email and comment is about getting ready, what people are seeing in grocery stores. It's a mixed bag across the country, depending on where you live. And out west, a couple pictures of spotty shelves. Down south, same thing. Meat areas are hit and miss. We went grocery shopping today just to kind of get a look on how things were moving, how things were replenished after the weekend, being a Monday. So far, it looks pretty good. We got a bunch of pastas, and the binning is pretty cool. How I wasn't sure about doing the live shows while I was bagging food and putting stuff away and labeling and getting ready. And there were some great responses. A lot of people were saying it was a big motivator, or it was very encouraging, which is great to see and read, because you hope that whatever it is that you do, or the videos that you follow and the people, what it is they're doing, you're gaining something from them, and you hope that you're either inspiring or motivating or encouraging, saying, hey, yes, I can do this, you can do this. And what I try to do is, as I'm doing it, explain what it is I'm using and the materials, where I buy them from, all that good stuff. And again, I always put it out there. If you have any questions, to just throw them out there, and more than happy to help. Like with the Mylar bags, Pack Fresh USA, they're out of California. They're great. They're very consistent with their materials and fast delivery. Order on a Friday, get it on a Monday. It's almost comparable to Amazon. So very good information there, good supplies. And again, whenever I discover something, I like to share it with you guys. Now, when it comes to crops and information, Electroverse put on an article today talking about just that. And the headline is, I ordered some bags from Pack Fresh today. Nice. Again, the comments, people going back and forth, helping out one another. That's what I want to utilize and have this whole channel and setup be about. Especially the way things have been moving so quickly. Last year impacting this year, and that ripple effect continuing on when it comes to international freight, ports being clogged and just full, really busy, and not enough skilled people, or just people in quarantine. So there's a lot of hiccups along the way between international getting to the coast and then trying to get enough people to get them off the ships, get them onto rail or trucks, and keep it moving to fill up our shelves so we can keep doing what we're doing and keep business moving. If you look at the UK, that app that is pinging everyone now to the point where they have staff shortages across the board, medical, hospitality, restaurants, grocery stores not being able to keep the shelves full. So if you look at that in news and information and just think, okay, if that were to happen here, how would that impact my day-to-day life and running errands and all that good stuff? So what I try to do is compile a lot of these articles and data and drop the links down below. Good pricing and fast shipping. Yeah, absolutely. So over here on Electroverse, let's see if I can find it. They just put the article out today, and they talk about interviewing farmers and what it is that they're going through and what they're seeing on the ground. I try to look for the ag news where they actually have farmers compiling information, what they're actually saying, not just a government agency coming through and saying, okay, this is what we're seeing, this is what we're going to report. Because last year and the year before that, they included numbers of crops that weren't harvested, but they put that into the data as well, saying this is where we're at, and it's really much lower. So now we're starting to see those numbers come through, and they can't hide that data and information anymore. And the great thing is you have still information out there like Twitter and YouTube that people can post their own information, say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm seeing on the ground. Now, in this article on electroverse.net, wheat farmer woes. I haven't seen anything like this. This is from a farmer. U.S. wheat farmers woes, decimated corn crops, no feed for livestock. So this is across the board. And Wyoming got some rain a few days ago, but I think it was just under half an inch. Really didn't make a dent like they needed. And there are a few channels that I follow out there just to actually see what they're dealing with. And this one Wyoming rancher recorded it and said they got rain for about an hour and a half, and then the next day everything looked dry again. So they're shipping out tons of water on a daily basis, sometimes several times, just to keep their cattle alive. So if you can, definitely recommend, at least just share with what we're doing, is stock up, wrap up real tight, airtight, put them in the freezer, label them, rotate them, and you're in a good place because you're buying essentially at today's prices instead of tomorrow. And with inflation going up, prices going up across the board everywhere, do things now while it's somewhat quiet, not too busy. You're avoiding the holidays, you're avoiding kids going back to school, a lot of rushing around. So while times are somewhat quiet and manageable, stock up when and where you can and do it as often as you can while it's available. Now, in this article here, wavy jet streams are throwing farmers something of a curveball. Thanks for the email. In 2021, as global temperatures continue to fall in line with the ever-intensifying grand solar minimum, ... prepare. Now it says here that U.S. wheat farmers woes. Now, in the article, it says here that I haven't seen anything like this, said fourth-generation farmer Kevin Klein, who grows in Sprague. And it goes on in the article says that the average winter wheat yields last year were about 76 bushels per acre, and with one bushel equaling 60 pounds per wheat. So you have 60 pounds of wheat per bushel, and they were averaging 76 per acre, and now it's dropped to 55 bushels per acre, with that number expected to drop. And this weekend, we just, like I said in the last show, we got delivered 50 pounds of barley, bagged it, and with the 1 pound Mylar bags, the 5 mil ones that we use, I average about 8 bags per 50 pound bag that we get. So if you want to plan ahead and you're going to buy 50 pounds of certain grains, I use 8 Mylar bags per 50 pounds of grains. And with information like this coming out, I'm actually trying to buy more than I probably would have in years past. We use it, we grind it, sprout it, sometimes grow it. But in this particular case, I gotta tell you guys, I am more of a proponent of putting it away till later and then rotating it. All right, it says here that I listened to older farmers and they said 1977 is the last year it's been like this. There are many comparisons between 2021 and 1977, the article goes on to say, and also mentions that solar activity is the main driver of weather and climate on our planet. It's always been and it always will be. This is why every religion tells that exact same story, a story of the sun and the different cycles. And this one very much being a multi-cycle event. So again, stock up. Mylar bags. Canning's great, but if you can grow your own food, grow your own food. Indoors, outdoors, experiment now. Experiment with trays, experiment with different types of seeds, different lighting, see what works best. Homes, every home is different. Every climate is different. More homes may be drier than others. Others may be more humid. So like I said, now while times are somewhat calm for the time being right now, experiment and try and see what works. Indoors, outdoors, putting plants outdoors, bringing it back in. We have a couple of Arabica plants that were really small that we got from Logi's and they're just exploded. One is, I want to say 4 feet tall, one coffee shrub, and another one we got last year. No, it was a couple years ago. It was a little sapling and now it's about maybe 2.5 feet tall. So knowing the locations, if it's windows or lighting, whatever it is, figure that out now and then get extra supplies, light bulbs, cords, you name it, extra seeds, put those away, keep them airtight. Practice growing, practice, practice, practice. And then whatever it is that you grow, put it in your dehydrator, put it in a Mylar bag or some mason jars and save it for later. A lot of good links in previous videos I put out there. And sometime I'm hoping this week to, I've been meaning to do this for a while, and a couple of people asked me if I had any playlists. I don't, but I'm going to put that together so you can actually watch one by one. Indoor growing, we've done that a few years ago. The progress reports on a weekly basis, monthly basis. The garden, starting off real small and just expanding it to the pallet garden that we have right now. So garden, fruit trees, nut trees, fruit bushes, get the extra netting. This year we covered our blueberry bushes with netting and we were great from the birds. At some point you pick enough berries and you take off the netting, leave some for the birds and they're happy. So it's kind of just find that balance. Bees, they're doing great. A lot of activity on a daily basis. Chickens, they're doing great. Plenty of eggs. So hopefully step by step, project by project that we're doing, you guys can get motivated, encouraged, and you guys give some great advice when it comes to channels or things that you have done. That I love bouncing back and forth ideas. All right, I'm going to check out Arlen Suderman's page. One more if you guys come in here. Again, if you have any ideas or things that you're doing or have tried, what worked, what didn't work, I love that feedback. Yeah, we talked about how California is going to be regulating the water pressure for the farmers. So if farmers were already hurting now, they're going to be. And remember, a whole bunch of almond trees were ripped out of the ground in California. So there's going to be a noticeable shortage, especially in the coming months when it comes for the holidays. Coffee damage, we talked about that on spillingthebeans.net. Again, just look at the links I leave down below, bookmark some of them, whatever works for you guys, bookmark, and then check them often and see what the updates are, what the changes are, and stock up accordingly, especially when it comes to sugar. I mean, looking at South America, there's only 3 earthquakes down there, and all along Chile, 4.7, 4.5, 4.3, that's it. We have all that cold air that's been coming up week after week now. So much damage for the corn crops, wheat, potatoes, sugar, coffee. I'm also missing soy. That was rain damage. That was odd. And now everything's just cold. All this cold air coming through. Same thing with Europe. They had essentially no spring this year. A lot of crop shortages and damage. What is that? It's a lot of activity here. Yeah, I like bookmarking USGS. USGS, Volcano Discovery, there are, last time I saw last night, I think it was 42, 43 active volcanoes happening right now. But yeah, when you go in USGS and just really pull it out, a lot of activity is starting to push through North America. Yeah, 3.4 off the coast of Oregon. So on top of stockpiling supplies and food and all the good stuff, what do you know? Is there information you need to print out, fill up into a binder, and put together? I've been trying to systematically, every now and then, go through information and notes and just think about, what do I know, what do I not know? Recipes, how to fix things, any important information that you want to print out and put into a binder, save for later, in case the lights did go out. What are things that you would reference? What are things that you need to save and save for a later date? Utilize that information. So just think about what you do on a daily basis, from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, seasonally as well. Is there any information when it comes to fixing things or outdoor knowledge, gardening? Get as many gardening books as you can. If you have bees, skills, learn the skills now, how to fix things, how to repair tools, how to deal with problems. Get creative like that. So again, it's all about problem solving, being creative, and taking advantage of the calm times right now. Stay informed, save those links and information, bookmark that, and just kind of keep going from there. I mean, this has been a very productive weekend. Ran a lot of errands today, and just make every day count. That's it. Come up with a to-do list and then work on that. Cross that one off, work on the next project, and then the next one after that. And then again, think about hypothetical situations. If a storm came through and XYZ happened, how would you fix things? How would you deal with things? Do you have enough supplies on hand? If it's cold, how do you start a fire? Do you have many different ways to start fires? Do you have many different ways to store food in case there is a power outage? Outside, if it's cold, or if it's hot outside, how would you keep things cool for a while? So again, it's a lot of scenarios to think about depending on where you live in the country, how long and short seasons are, how to grow food indoors, how to utilize fresh food to supplement whatever it is you have in the pantry, and then just go from there. In my head, I plan all the time about different scenarios and hypotheticals. So again, a lot of people should be doing that and take advantage of, again, that time that we have. So go back and look at the older videos, check out the links, bookmark this information, and see what happens. There's a lot of good information in there, a lot of great comments. And the great thing is, since all the information is up there, recently people will look at older videos and make comments, and we'll throw out comparing notes or ideas. Definitely recommend that. So again, also, I would definitely say, while I'm thinking about it, sewing and material. We talked about the other day going to the store and getting supplies for darning socks. And these things right here, for fixing socks, you have a hole in the sock, for example, and you want to fix it, use one of these. Thread a big needle and just cross up and down, and then vertical, horizontal, that's it. And the cool thing is, I was able to do that on one of my husband's socks. And whenever I do the laundry, I see it and it works. So again, practice these skills. Think about these situations. If you had to repair something, you have the supplies to do it now while it's available, and more importantly, while it's affordable. All right, I want to see this next update over here on USGS. I can't believe it's August already. How are you guys doing with your projects, gardening? Have you guys harvested anything yet? Our tomato plants came in a little late. We do have flowers on them. I noticed that yesterday. And another cool thing I noticed yesterday with the potatoes, they haven't dried up yet, so they're still growing. So that's another great sign with the potatoes. We have 5 different varieties growing. And one of the plants I know is little berries. And I thought maybe a tomato plant got in there somehow. So I walked around, went inside. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the leaves like, this isn't tomato. It's a potato plant. And the potatoes, I forgot about this because we didn't get any last year. They have these little berries that look like tiny little green tomatoes. And what you can do is slice them open, save out pinch out these really, really tiny seeds. They're almost like really tiny cherry tomato seeds. You scrape them out. What I do is I cut them up in like little medallions, and I take a fine knife and I just squeeze the berry and I pop out the seeds and I scrape them out, put them on some paper towel, let them dry. And you can actually start potato seedlings from those seeds. And what will happen is you'll grow a potato from the greenery, take the potato, harvest it, put in some warm location, let the eyes start growing and forming, and then put that into the garden, and that will be your potato seedling. So that was a fun find yesterday. We still have a couple more berries to pull seeds from, and you get a ton from one little berry. You're going to get a ton of potato seedlings from that one berry. So if you have at least 3 or more, you're in a great place, and you can even give some to friends and get them starting to grow their own potatoes from seed, legit seed. And the fun thing is, if you have kids, you can get your kids involved. They'll know the whole process from seed to watching their food grow to harvesting it, and you get to smell the freshness of it. You get to taste the freshness of it, and then possibly learn some more skills like dehydrating, canning, and just preserving that harvest. Especially pumpkins with the butternuts, they're so good. Pies, soups, ravioli. I love a good butternut squash ravioli with a nice sage butter sauce. It's so good. And that's the thing. Practice now. Grow the food. Even if you don't grow it yourself, just go to a farmer's market. Get some fresh stuff. Get an old recipe book at a bookstore or wherever they're selling old books that you get your hands on. I love collecting them and looking at the old recipes. We've talked about old recipes from the 1800s and so on, and looking at how many creative ways they utilize to store food, cook food, and stretch things like potato bread. When there were shortages of wheat and grains, bakers would sneakily make potato bread because legally they had to use certain ingredients. And if they were caught, they would be fined or jailed, depending on how bad it was. But with potatoes, you barely notice it, but you get a nutrition-dense, rich bread that's flavorful, that's healthy, and you're stretching your grains out. So we tried it with potatoes. We mashed them up and put a third of them in with the flour, and you get just beautiful golden round bread in the oven. So again, try these things, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then go on from there. So that way you know what to plan for, you know what you need in the future, and so on. So give that a shot and see what happens. But again, make every day productive. Like I said, over the weekend, got a lot done and a lot of projects working on. And this Thursday, I'm going to finally replace this computer. So everything hopefully will be synced in, like I said before. And just keep cranking out information in the articles and keeping you guys informed and trying out new projects. And in fact, we recorded another video a couple nights ago. We dry canned some crackers in some mason jars, popped it open last year for the 1-year mark, and they were fine. It actually tasted really good. Slight stale, I think. We popped it open again a couple nights ago. A little stale smell, but they taste great. They're crunchy, they're dry, they taste fine. So we're gonna do it again next year. How's the airplane coming? All right, we got the welds. We drove it to the welder a few towns away, and he looked at the welds, recommended an officially licensed, certified aviation, basically an FAA accredited, certified welder who basically looks at aircraft, welds, and all things aviation. So he's going to come out Friday to our place, which is really helpful because he's coming from out of state, and he's going to look at all the welds, top to bottom, back to front. and let us know what we need to do. And then we're gonna go back to the welder. He's gonna teach us how to weld. I'll put a whole video series out on that. That's gonna be exciting. We're gonna learn how to weld and weld on our plane. So that's what we got going on. When I said projects, I'm trying to make time stretch every single day, make the most of it. So we got the plane welder we having a look at on Friday morning. That's gonna be exciting. And then we're gonna learn how to weld and do that as a family. So that's Friday. Computers Thursday. Wednesday, I have an appointment in the morning, and cranking out the news and information. Really, that's it. Mondays, I try not to, with the live shows, I don't want to put too much planning into it, only because you guys have some great feedback and information. I kind of want to bounce back and forth and have that be a thing on Mondays. So if there's a topic about planning or worth discussing, throw it out there in the comments and we'll get to it. But for the most part, it's been very crop related news, information, articles. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 articles I've been looking at and reading the past couple days that I'm going to compile another show on Friday and see how they compare back and forth. But across around the globe, it's droughts, rain. China had a bunch of rain. China last year with their floods, this year with their floods again, and not only the crops, but their pigs. They lost a bunch of pigs, like a lot of pigs. So whatever they voluntarily culled last year from disease or virus, they lost through floods just recently. So they have no crops, they have no pigs, I don't even think they have safe drinking water for a few million people, many people, a lot of villages with all the flooding. So they are hurting in a big way. And you can tell almost on a weekly basis, if not every week, the articles of them buying from any country they can get their hands on, North Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, or whatever stores they can get their hands on. Even as the tariff prices rise, it's not phasing them. They are in a bad way when it comes to, you name it. Ports are full and busy, clogged. Manufacturing's down recently. I just saw an article today that their manufacturing is down. So, no one's immune from any of this stuff. Australia, with the military now cracking down, with all the new role reversals, going back to what happened last year. So Australia with their cold weather and droughts, China with their floods across the board. Here in America, bad droughts out west. So many more ranchers are culling their herds, so much so that there's a backlog of up to a year with a lot of processing facilities. So they're doing the best they can with keeping them alive. There is very little feed that's out there that's available unless you're paying through the nose for it, which is unfortunate because over here on the side of the country, we're doing great. And I've seen several people offer to pay for the alfalfa and the grains and the grass to ship out there, but the prices are an absolute kick in the pants. So if people who are able to help out are helping out, but Canada's not doing much better either. They're dry and crunchy when it comes to their grains and their prairies. Ranchers, same place. South America, we've talked about this several times. Brazil, Argentina, all up and down the board. Cold air is now just the salt in the wound from last year. From last year when they first planted their corn, in October there was a drought. And then as soon as they're harvesting it to plant the soy, all this rain came through and it caused all this water damage to their soy plants. And whatever they could harvest from the soy, they planted in a second round of corn, and then droughts came back. So you have farmers with animals and livestock that depend on a lot of these grains to feed their animals. So a lot of countries are starting to tighten the belt and say, look, we can only export this much now. And we need to feed our own animals. We need to feed our own people. So be very mindful of who's buying what from where, because, yeah, we have record amounts that we're selling to other countries. How are we going to replace that, though? That's the kicker. Last year we were hurting the derecho drought, same thing this year. And with La Nina, looking like it's going to set up this year. It's going to make things dry, which means not a lot of snow, if that holds true to the model. So we don't know yet. There's a lot of variables still up in the air. Again, there's a lot of these facets to all these things that are going on that affect everything. So I honestly, the best thing I can say at this point is just do what's best for you. Come up with a plan that works for you and your family. If you're single, if you have a family of people who depend on you, if you have medical needs, you name it. Plan accordingly to that, and then build, and then keep building until you're in a great spot where you can actually help others if you're able to. If not, just keep yourself strong. So when supply chains are further disrupted or inflation kicks in even more or anything else you can think of, maybe you just have that much of a head start to hedge your bets on. So I'll never give you guys medical advice, financial advice. I'll just say, hey, here's what I'm reading. This is what I'm finding. Do what's best for you guys. That's the best thing you guys can do. And then the comment section. Keep that coming along. Keep that working. If you find something that works, throw it in there. And or email me, and I'll get that out to everyone in the next show. Yeah, with the plane. That's going to be a new adventure to keep us busy. And it's a good thing. With all the political things that are happening, all the distractions, it's good to have a positive project to look forward to. Gardening or DIY, you name it. Look at the older videos, get inspired, find other channels that inspire you to build and get ready, and more importantly, stay informed. Because right now, with all the heavy censorship that's going on, it's a blessing to see places like Odyssey. Odyssey is great. The great thing is whatever I post on here goes automatically over there. And over there, you have a freedom to actually speak and say whatever it is that you want. So if you can find channels over there, support them. Because the more support that we get over there and off of platforms, unfortunately, like this one, that's going to help us out a bunch in the future. So one more quick look. There's a bunch of explosions. Looks like for mine or oil. 2.2 in Princeton, Canada. You have a Quarry Blast in Butte, Montana, 1.6. So again, think about what you do on a daily basis, even seasonally, and just get creative. Like darning socks. I'm going to get this kit. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Found it. I have a kit. I'm trying to remember what I bought this for. I want to say 10 or 15 bucks. So you take a sock with a little hole in it, a little mushroom, put it into the sock. Then you take your big needle, with your little scissors. That's your big needles. So if you got thick wool socks or you have regular cotton socks, you take this needle like that, and then you run the thread through, sock, horizontal, vertical, until it's covered, and that's it. So the important thing is grab these things now while they're available. Hey, we keep talking about the supply shortages, and I don't know fully what the future is going to bring, but the best thing you guys can do is just stock up, learn, and build on your skills. And then do things that are fun too, like healthy distractions, either welding a plane or learning cross stitch. Got that in the mail today. I was really excited. It's a big one. I don't know why, but I never look at the sizes, but that looks really pretty. It's like a nice fall theme to kind of keep you busy on a rainy day, a snowy day, whatever it is. So I'm going to learn cross stitch and eventually learning how to weld. And I'll take you guys along on that adventure. So if you guys have any other questions, I'll let this go a little early. But yeah, enjoy the good weather. Find a farmer's market. Can dehydrate, put away food, work together. Keep learning the skills and stay productive and busy. And don't let the distractions get you guys down, because it's so easy for the stuff to just suck you in. Anything in a sad way, I think is what, unfortunately, a lot of people are falling into, are those distractions. So I will do my best to keep you guys informed as to what's going on. If anything happens, drop those videos on the channel for you guys. And again, with all the sun activity, just have a plan and be ready. We got 2 more carbon monoxide detectors for the fireplace and the pellet stove. We have one, but I just kind of want to ramp up the protection and get one solely for 2 sides of the first floor. Again, it's just those layers of protection. If anything were to happen, you actually have a layer of comfort saying, I got this. I have plans, I have options. Utilize that. And just take care of yourself. Are you going to AirVenture in Oshkosh next year? I don't think it's going to be in the plane that we're working on. That's a 2-seater, but oh man, that looked like so much fun. EAA does such a phenomenal job. If you guys haven't, check out EAA, their channel on YouTube. They just had this huge air show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And I think they have 10,000 aircraft to come in for this week-long event. I think it's like Sunday to Sunday. I'd love to go just to see the old warbirds and the home builds and pick the people's brains and see how they do this, what got them started, and what works, what doesn't work, tips, tricks, all that good stuff, and actually see these things up close. EA, yes, exactly. Absolutely amazing show. It's basically, it's up to you what you want to do when it comes to skills and information. I have so many links that you bookmark. I actually have a little binder, a little binder right here of all these websites, windy.com, USGS, space weather, poweroutage.us. So if there's a storm or something, you have an idea of how to track it and how bad it is. Electroverse, weather, ag news. So again, find things that work, save them, and then just stick to that. I don't watch mainstream news. It's podcasts and indie news channels that work really well. Those are the ones that I appreciate. I like to support and follow. Those are the ones that you want. That's it. Try to keep it simple, find what works, support it, stick with it, and more importantly, share it. Especially now more so with all the censorship and things being so weird. Growing up, I never would have pictured the way things are nowadays. But if there's a silver lining, it makes you appreciate what you have, what you're doing in life, and how aware we are to what's really going on. So you have a better understanding, you have a more level head, and just deal with things and not like other people who panic at the drop of a dime if something goes wrong. Just say, hey, look, deal with it, find an option, go forward from there. I don't have all the answers, believe me. I just do the best I can, read as much as you can, and find a great support network and continuously bounce off one another. Yeah, the fireworks were spectacular. It was amazing to see these aircraft fly. They actually had night shows. And they had all these aircraft streaking through the sky, throwing off fireworks. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. This is something I'm still learning very much about. Great channels on YouTube when it comes to those who fly, those who've been flying for years. You got some funny people. You got some really educated people, guys who are building from the ground up, like Scrappy, 310 Pilot. I'm trying to remember some others. Again, it's finding what works, finding who knows what they're doing, and just learn as much as you can and pull from it what works for you, and then just move forward from there. But yeah, the aviation world, that's a whole new one for me. Volunteer my entire life, probably since 5, but with the skills and everything, just plain silly. Just plain silly. That guy's hilarious. Just plain silly is one of those guys who will mess with you and do it in such a way where you don't know if he's messing with you or if he's serious about the way what he's talking about. He's just one of those guys who you're watching and you got to think about it an extra 5 seconds. Like, he's messing with me. I don't know, but it's really good. There's so many great channels on there. Mike Patey, yep. Best Tugs, I think that's the one. Dan Milliken, God, in the hangar. Corey Robin, I think he's the one that does those videos. There are some talented people out there. Again, still learning, yeah. So if you can find a channel, support them and pull from it. But the thing is, keep learning. Do what you can and then just go a little further, challenge yourself. I am into sectionals right now for the training. So far, it's going really good. I definitely, if you're going to go for ground school and learn to fly, Gold Seal. I tried another school. I don't want to look like I'm throwing the money at the bus. I wouldn't do that. It just didn't work for me. Their setup didn't work for me. But Gold Seal, they break it down in such a great way. It works great. And it's very encouraging, which I like. All right, I think I covered everything. Earthquakes, drought map still looks challenging out west. Hasn't refreshed yet, so whatever I put out last is still current. Talked about everything, potatoes, coffee. Again, just be creative. If you like coffee, stock up on it now while it's available. Sugar, stock up now while it's available. Skills, stock up and learn now while the information's out there. Buy lots of books. Instead of just downloading things, buy the physical thing. Print it out or buy the book and read and have that as a backup in case, again, the lights go out, you have an option. EMPShield, depending on how things go in the future, man-made or natural, at least this will preserve whatever it is that you're in your home. Anything with chip, your cars, if you can fix it in the future with spare parts and make them run again, awesome. I would say extra layer of protection when it comes to sub-pump sensors, driveway alarm systems, home alarm systems, insurance for you name it. EMPShield, home, ham radio communication, anything with chip in it, cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, boats, especially RVs. The sales through the roof. So many people opted to go for the RV life, and we talked about this one article, I believe it was from, I think, the New York Times or Washington Post, where there was this big surge in RV sales. Oh, because a lot of people couldn't travel because of last year. So they were like, let's just go where we want to go, make this as manageable as possible. So a lot of people opted for that option. So if you want to protect it, keep the chips alive and functioning as best, again, depending on how things shake out in the future, EMPShield.com. Great company, veteran owned. Texas Power Grid is utilizing them, not just the government, but the state of Texas is as well. So if you're in Texas, you're in great shape. You're working with a great company there. And you have governors and senators who are working to protect the grid, which is phenomenal. But for you individually, us, honestly, the next best thing is EMPShield. Your generator, your home, your cars, and then anything else from there. They have bundles. It's a great company, battle tested. And I think insurance companies like them too. What else you got? CCTV. Books don't run out of power. Yeah, again, just think about if the lights were to go out, how different things would be. Rest would be books, how to fix things, information, old things you can look upon, reference, medical, you name it. So get creative, make a list, think about hypothetical situations, and then just go from there. But yeah, absolutely right. Books do not run out of power. And again, do what works best for you and your situation, depending on where you live and what it is that you want to accomplish. All right, I think that's all for now. So I'm going to kick this off and look forward to a whole new setup on Thursday. So I'm going to be busy setting up all this stuff. So if you have any questions, ideas, leave them in the comments below or email me if you want to get any information or links out to anyone. I actually like doing that. So with all that being said, coupon code TalkwithTiffany at checkout EMPShield.com. Almost forgot. And I think that's everything. Again, check out the links from previous videos. Check out the videos from bagging food with power, without power. I use a brake bleeder for mason jars. Very creative. And I think that's everything. So just do the best you can. Keep plugging away at it each week. Be safe and well. And I will talk to you all next time.